Hi, this is Grover again with Blue Collar Codes. Episode 4, we're going to go over strings data type. If you'd like to find and follow along with this file, episode 4.py can be found in the GitHub repository, which is linked in the video summary. So I wanted to start off and say that strings can get fairly complex, especially when you start getting into different encodings and character sets and getting into the types of encodings you would need for different languages, as well as if you wanted to read binary files or modify binary files. So we're not going to get to that kind of depth here. We're just going to get into basic raw strings and regular string formatting. So one of the core things I'd like to go over is the creation of strings. So you use either single or double quotations, or you can use the str built-in to turn, say, floats or integers into strings. Another core thing I'd like to go over with you is the existence of what are called escape characters. So anytime you have a regular string and you use a backslash and then certain characters such as \n for new line, \t for tab, \u, and then say a Unicode characters, what they do is they do perform some special functions. And you just need to be aware that if you want, when you need to escape some certain characters or you want to create a new line, you use the backslash and then these characters. And if you want to try to avoid it, what you need to do is use what is called a raw string and put an R in front of the string that you're enclosing in either single or double quotation marks, and then you can now pass in paths to, say, certain documents or saved files without it trying to escape these characters because of the use of the backslash. And then you can avoid having to use, like, say, a double backslash to escape a backslash. That'll make more sense when you start getting into it and diving into it. And then the other type of strings are byte strings, so you can put a B in front of it, but we're not going to dive into that right now. That'd be used if you wanted to process binary data. So be aware that there are also things that you can escape. As I've said, you have octal hexadecimal characters that you can escape using either a backslash and the numbers there, or you can do backslash and then X and then do a hexadecimal. And the one here I wanted to showcase for you that is kind of cool, you can search for Unicode, say emojis or symbols online, and then you can backslash and use a capital U and then the code, and then it'll print it out for you. So I'll showcase that for you here. So you'll find it pretty easily if it prints out properly, and it's the only thing of color on this output, but it's basically the escape of that character. So another thing that you can do with strings is you can index them as well by position. If you just wanted to get a certain letter, you can slice them as well, just like lists. But one thing to note is that they are immutable, which means that if you try to change them in place, you can't, it'll throw an error out. So I'll showcase that for you here a little bit right now. So S of, say, I wanted that S to be an R for some reason, equals R. So it'll give you an error. But you can still index that S. And if I wanted to create a new string from that string, I can add slices together. So S2 equals R plus S. The slice of it is going to be 1 to the end, because I want it to be R-ting. Now S2 equals R-tring. So kind of showcasing a bit of the slicing there. So other things you can use I've showcased here are certain methods that you can use with them to create all of lowercase, all of uppercase. I just showed you a bit of string concatenation. You use the plus symbol and separate it by the strings you want in order to create a new string. And then the last thing I'm going to go over briefly here is just my favorite type of formatting for strings. And I'm going to create just a few variable names here. score is 100, and then we'll say test name equals midterm. So using an F string, by putting an F in front of the quotation marks, I can say student named Grover scored a And so basically, this string formatting allowed me to place in variable names here. And then it printed it all out here by taking in those variable names. This becomes useful when you want to have string templates and say if you wanted to create automatic email answering or something like that. So that's where string formatting comes in. I've gone a bit more into depth into the different methods of doing so. I just went over the one directly, of which is my favorite, because I'm trying to make these videos pretty short. So please follow along and then also try this practice out to get more familiar with strings, and then we'll move on to the next data type. Thank you again, Grover, Blue Collar Codes, the quick and dirty.